Hello, welcome back. Today I'm going to be breaking down the skin technique of makeup artist Nina Park, who is unbelievable. You guys loved the video that I did where I broke down how to do her lip look, and again, it was my interpretation, so these are all going to be my interpretation, keep that in mind. I did watch a ton of videos last night and this morning. All the videos that are available on YouTube of Nina talking about makeup, doing her own makeup. It's real minimal. It's real minimal. We're gonna try. And this month is drugstore July, so all of these products are going to be drugstore, including the skincare that I'm gonna be using to prep my face. Which we're gonna do. We're gonna just jump right into it. So I'm gonna be using a few different images as reference, as well as the knowledge that I took away from her technique in the videos that I watched. Namely, the images, I'll pop a couple in here, of Emma Stone. I always want to say Emma Watson. Emma Stone and Saoirse Ronan. I'm going to be using those as an example. So I'm going to start off with, Nina loves to hydrate the skin with lightweight hydration. Love. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this hydrating toner from CeraVe. This is new to me. This is for normal to dry skin. Has ceramides and niacinamide and all that type of stuff. I'm just gonna soak a cotton round. Cute, 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 cute. I'm just going to work this all over the face because this is a nice lightweight moisture. So that's one of the things that she talked about. From what I could gather, lightweight moisture, which I'm always a huge fan of. And I saw her use some primers in some videos, but she talks a lot about skincare in general. So I think it just has, like I have talked about a lot, it has so much more to do with skin prep. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to use a primer. It could just be skincare. It could just be serum moisturizer with a toner underneath or whatever. I'm just gonna really take my time working this into the skin. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this on my eyelids just because I tend to get some peeling, especially in here. I just wanna make sure that it's well moisturized. Now her technique is incredibly minimal. So I thought it would be a really great experiment for us to do our best to recreate it on this current skin, because we don't all have flawless celebrity skin, right? I certainly don't right now. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Thought it would be very helpful. I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit of the Aveeno Common Restore serum. This is great for helping with redness. So I'm just gonna go in with I'm doing tiny amounts, okay? Very tiny amounts. That was like a pea-sized amount of serum. When I do skincare, I like to work it into the fingertips and then kind of dot it around the face. I feel like it's the easiest way to apply it evenly without having to apply a ton, you know? Because if you put a big glob, when you see people drip it down their face or whatever, then there's this big glob here and it's well, how do I get that over here? You know, it's all gonna be concentrated here. Skin is looking nice and hydrated. Next, I'm gonna go in with the CeraVe Eye Repair Cream. Yeah, just nice and simple. I actually really like this one because it's moisturizing, but in a very lightweight kind of way. Tiny little amount. I don't wanna sit here forever making it even. You saw one of my recent videos talking about OCD. You know me and symmetry, especially when it comes to skincare. And I'm gonna make sure that I'm placing this in the inner corner of the eye where I tend to get peeling. Then I'm gonna go in with, 2 pumps of the CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. I've been using this a lot recently. Working it into my fingertips. I'm gonna tap it around my face. And then even when I use eye creams, I like to take a little bit of the lotion underneath my eyes, on top, because that's where I've got my dark circles, okay? I like extra hydration there because I need the most coverage there. When your under eyes are really dry, It's the extremes. When your under eyes are too moisturized, it can cause creasing. When they're really dry, it can cause creasing. So you're trying to look for just right. Yeah, so I'm a little nervous because in all of the videos that I watched of Nina Park doing her makeup or talking about makeup, she didn't use any setting powder. And I was like, what are we gonna do? So we're probably gonna use powder, just to be clear. My skin is well prepped. I like the glow. Looks very hydrated and like natural. Nice glow. Don't even feel like I need a primer. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match. This was actually a video. This was actually a foundation that Nina called out in a drugstore video where she was shopping for drugstore products. So this is in the shade W1. So I'm putting one pump of this on the back of my hand. And she applied it with her fingers, which I just don't ever do. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna start off in the center of my face. I understand using fingers and the heat of skin to press things into skin. But I got claws pretty much all the time. Which makes it a little bit more difficult. So if you have a sponge or a brush that you love using, don't feel like you are not allowed to use it. But if you use your fingers naturally, then you can feel justified. You can feel absolutely justified. So I'm kind of working in sections of my face, starting with areas that need more coverage and then just kind of blending out. This cat is being crazy. Because one of the things about the way that Nina does makeup is that she actually used this term in a video and I felt very validated. She said lived in, like very lived in. And that's exactly how I used the word that I used to describe the lip. And that's very much like her technique when it comes to makeup. It looks like it is very much like a part of a person, which I love. I'm gonna take a teeny bit of that just around my eyes. Because one thing I did not see her do, and we don't look anything alike, okay? We have very different anatomies in general. She has this beautiful, like flawless looking canvas, and I have a lot of like nooks and crannies and lines and darkness. So I'm going to use everything that I learned from the videos, plus the reference that I'm looking at, to adapt for me and hopefully help you adapt it for you. Okay, I am going to start off with my lower jawline and I'm going to do some contouring. So, as far as I could tell from Nina, I picked up the new KJH brand, Katie Jane Hughes brushes, her like brush set. So we're gonna be playing around with these. I'm gonna try the #1 brush for this. Anyway, I'm using my CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer Contour Balm Stick in the shade Defined, which is my new favorite contour. And I'm gonna start this, I'm picking it up with the brush and I'm buffing it into the hand. This is my hand, right? First, because the main thing that you wanna keep in mind if you are trying to recreate one of Nina's looks is that minimal, okay? Products are minimal. So I do want to do some sculpting, but I'm just not going to be as heavy-handed as I usually am. So especially if you're someone who needs a lot of coverage, like I got a lot to conceal today, this is not going to be a very fast process, okay? It takes a lot to make your makeup look like it's lived in, all right? Especially if you don't have that like flawless skin base already. So I'm gonna take my time defining using nice light layers. Okay, for contouring my face, I am going to do a little bit of sculpting, again, using that brush plus the contour. Same process, tapping it on the back of my hand. In the videos that I watched, she pretty much only used a bronzer, but I am gonna go in with a little bit of a contour. She actually seemed a little off-put by the term contour. But I want to do a bit of sculpting. So very conservatively placing in the hollow of my cheek right there, just to do a little bit of sculpting. And then we will add warmth. Now I'm going to put a bunch of that on the back of my hand, plus my, you're gonna get sick of seeing it, but I just really like it, the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear Diamond Bronzer. This is in the shade Bronze Gem, or Gem Bronze, Bronze Gem. So I'm gonna mix these together and I'm gonna do a little bit of nose contour, because in all the photos that I'm seeing, it looks like the nose is like at least somewhat defined, but the images, at least on the image of Emma Stone, it looks like the nose is defined. But it's very difficult to tell because the images themselves are quite like dramatic and artsy looking, you know? It looks like she's got a nose contour going. I'm just gonna do a teeny bit of that around the lips because I feel naked without it. Okay, now for my bronzer, I'm gonna go in with that same brush, the one brush from Katie, and I'm just gonna tap into the bronzer, tap it on the back of my hand. And now I'm going to use this to really sculpt the face and add warmth. Pressing in, and I am very much ignoring my breakouts. I am ignoring my breakouts. We will spot conceal later on, and I may do it in a separate video so that you have like an extremely in-depth video on that, because I realize I've done it in a lot of like base videos, but I don't know if I've done like a video where it's the focus. So up at the temples, hugging the cheekbones, blending into that contour, adding some shape and definition to the face. I'm gonna take it down here a little bit, blending into the jawline. Everything should be seamless. And then working around the hairline. So this is something that I did not see her do on herself in her videos. If you're looking for them, if you just look up Nina Park, I think the majority of them were for Net-a-Porter. Stupid hair is getting in the way. Picking up what's on my hand, working into the hairline first, and then slowly just blending it as usual. Okay, so we have like very soft shaping happening right now. Very soft shaping. I'm just gonna sketch my brows for my reference. I'm gonna speed through this because it's not necessary, and I just did a brow video. All of the blushes look extremely soft, if there even is blush. Like I can see kind of some blush, especially on Saoirse in her like very freckly look, which if you want me to recreate this exact base, like with the freckles, please let me know, because I'm obsessed with it. I think it's stunning and I really want to do it. Like doing faux freckles, I really want to do it. So I guess I'll do my concealer first. So I literally didn't see her talk about color corrector, which is like hard for me. with all this darkness. So I like, part of me feels like if she would use a color corrector on me if she were to do my makeup. You know what worked really nicely actually in my Anne Hathaway tutorial was mixing my LA Girl concealer with my e.l.f. concealer. Light Ivory, smallest text in the entire world, really playing with my laser eye surgery. I don't know if you guys know this, but like laser eye surgery can correct like the distance or whatever, but like the close-up stuff is just like degradation that happens over time from age. I still got pretty good close-up eyesight, but damn, those letters are small. All right, anyway, Light Ivory, which is quite peach. It's a little dark and quite peach for my skin tone, plus the LA Girl Pro Concealer, which is, or this is the corrector in light yellow. I'm gonna mix these. This is great for my skin tone. If you don't have dark circles, don't worry about this. Just going with a little bit of concealer because like you can see when I'm looking at all of these looks that she does, you can see color coming through. You know what I mean? You can see like a teeny little bit of like a purpley blueness around Emma's eyes. And it looks, that's like part of what makes this look lived in, is that it's not so full coverage. It's not getting rid of everything. So I'm just gonna kind of like work around that, work with that idea in mind. So I'm trying not to necessarily get rid of my dark circles completely. So I'm mixing it to that, which I think is going to be a nice color corrector color. I'm going to use a tiny little amount. Actually, I'm going to use that same brush that I used last time. It's the BK Beauty 203 brush. So I'm picking it up. I'm working it into a clean area on the back of my hand. So I'm working it into the brush. And then I'm just going to place this in the area that's really dark. So we're going to kind of embrace the natural color that I have around my eyes, which so many of you are so complimentary and always say it looks like I have a natural eyeshadow, which thank you so much. I wish 12-year-old me could hear that. And then I'm just gonna, I like this brush for this because it's like fluffy and domed a little bit, but it's like thinner when you turn it. It's like fat that way, and it gets a little thinner. So it fits in here nicely. I'm just gonna blend into the foundation that I already have going on. See, that's a nice, it's a nice. So we have like a nice coverage without getting rid of everything completely. You know, it's not so full coverage, but the skin is starting to come together. It's starting to look a little more flawless in a natural kind of way. And I'm gonna wipe off that brush completely. I'm just gonna squint and I'm gonna pat along where my creases are just to kind of soften that line, just like that. I think that looks pretty nice. And then I'm gonna take a teeny bit of that just around the nose where I have a little bit more redness, like around my nostrils and such. Blending just a little into the laugh lines. That looks nice. Okay, for blush, I think I'm gonna mix these two colors. I have these little cream, the putty blushes from e.l.f. I have, why are the stickers different? Bora Bora, oh. Bora Bora, Bahamas. I bought these the exact same time. I don't know why the stickers are different. Anyway, I'm gonna mix these two together because this is a little too orange and this is a little too pink. 1 part Bora Bora, 2 parts Bahamas, for reference. And then I'm gonna go back to that Katie Jane Hughes 1 brush, priming. And then I'm going to just really gently tap this on the cheeks. Looks like it goes from like here and then like a little bit in here. And potentially dusted across the nose. I'm just gonna take a little bit here. Just remember, less is more. You can always build it up. I love this little brush. It's so cute. I love, one of the reasons that I created my brush with Rougher was because I needed more tiny face brushes. I needed a tiny face brush. And I love that Katie came out with these tiny little face brushes. They're so tiny. This is even smaller. I love it. Thank you, Katie. I do feel like I need a little bit more bronzer. I'm gonna do that real quick. And then I'm gonna go back in with my bronzer. Same deal. Pressing it into the back of the hand. It's very difficult to tell. And once I start putting it down, I'm just gonna take it around. I'm just gonna take it all around. Because that's one of the easiest ways to make sure that you are sufficiently blending, as if little bits are kind of all over the place. Think about your skin. It's not one color, you know? Especially when you're super pale. You have so many colors going on in your skin all over the place. Pretty. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take a little break and I'm gonna film the spot concealing separately. So if you are looking for that video and I'm smart and I remember, I'll pop it up here. If it's not up yet, it will be up soon. Just go to my channel, check it out, because I think it'll just be better. So I'll be right back. Oh my God. All right, something weird happened with my monitor. So if I'm looking over here, it's because I've only got the camera monitor now, so that was weird. Anyway, hello, I'm back. Look at the flawlessness. Ooh. So if you want to check out that spot concealing video, you absolutely should, because it was so in-depth and very good, if I do say so myself. Anyway, let's finish off. So I'll be honest with you, the no powder thing was really stressing me out, but everything seems to be wearing so beautifully. So I'm only gonna use like a tiny, tiny little amount in the center of my face, in the area where I look a little shiny. You can see here, it's happening there. And I am gonna put just a teeny bit underneath my eyes. So, oh, I did my brows too. Don't they look good? Ooh. Anyway, I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible Blur Perfection blah 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 powder. I really like this one. This is in the shade Translucent. 20 Translucent Light. They all got different numbers, the same name, different numbers. I'm gonna put it in the cap. I'm gonna use this Wayne Goss brush that I don't think is available anymore, but I love it so much. It was actually it doesn't have a number on it. I thought it was the like face perfecting brush or something like that. I don't think it's available, but I got it at Beautylish. So very much not drugstore. I'm gonna swirl my brush and really tap it off. And I'm just gonna really gently, using the lightest amount and a very light hand, pat this around the center of the face. To just prevent that from moving around, keep things in place. And also, I just want to kind of like de-shine, not completely mattify, but de-shine the areas where I have the large breakouts, so that as I'm turning, they're not like catching the light. If you make them too matte, you can end up making them look really obvious. So you want to mattify without bringing too much attention. And you also just want that to stay in place. Okay. Beautiful. All right, so now I'm just gonna do a little bit of highlighter to finish off. I think for the most part, she prefers a cream highlighter. So I'm gonna use that same One brush, number one brush from Katie Jane. Just switching. Honestly, you know what? The Pixie Flawless Beauty Primer I kept in all those videos, I kept saying, like, you could use this as an illuminator. We might as well. It's like a really beautiful nude champagne kind of shade for my skin tone. So I'm just gonna put that on the back of my hand and kind of like blend it out a little bit. And I'm gonna do the same thing, just kind of press my brush into it, pat it on the back of my hand. So we're working it in, but not too much, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just gonna hit the top of the cheekbone, the widest part of the cheekbone. And I'm gonna avoid any areas where I have breakouts. So again, very conservatively placing. Beautiful illumination. Love it. All right, guys, that's it. That is literally it for the look. This is very much reminiscent, I feel, of the Emma Stone look in particular, because I also have the red hair. But our faces are a little bit closer in shape than Saoirse Ronan. However, I kind of like combined the two of them to create this technique. You can see that it looks beautiful. Like it very much enhances my natural features while maintaining a flawless finish. But that flawless finish is not, oh, no imperfections, right? You can see little bits of darkness coming through around my eyes. You can see freckles. You can see little imperfections on my forehead. You can see colors. Like not everything is completely color corrected, right? So like colors, the olive color of my skin is coming through. It's undetectable. It's lived in. It's beautiful. I love the finish of this. To be completely clear with you, I love all makeup. I love the drag, okay? I love 2016 makeup. I love a full beat face. I love this. Like, I love just a little concealer under the eyes and some brow. Like, I love all of it, all right? This is a really great technique if you are looking for this kind of finish, obviously. It's a great technique if you are someone who wants to wear more comfortable makeup. It is very comfortable. It's perfect for summertime. If you want to wear like lightweight layers, but you still have certain areas that you need to spot conceal a little bit. Or if you're just kind of sick of seeing the same old highlighting contouring routine that a lot of makeup artists do these days. It's kind of become ingrained in us, you know, I'm guilty of it. And you want to try something that's just like a little bit more like enhancing, you know? So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you liked this breakdown. Please let me know if you wanted this to become a series. I am going to be doing a couple more videos, I think, that are going to be revolving around Nina Park's work. Some other makeup artists that I'm interested in diving into are Lily Keys, Joe Baker. I feel like I could do a podcast on Joe Baker and Lily Boynton. Like, I could just talk about their looks together for the rest of my life. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and blah, blah, blah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.